Hello, friends, and welcome to another exciting episode of Today with Tally. The mission and goal of this podcast is to bring an engaging conversation that will add value to the lives of everyday people. We will inspire, encourage, educate, and tell the stories of America's finest men and women in an effort to motivate you to live your life to its fullest potential. Be sure to follow us on social media and search Today with Tally. Be sure to subscribe, follow, and share the program as well. Ladies and gentlemen, your host of the evening, Mr. Brian Tally.
Welcome back to the Today with Tally podcast, where we add real life value to the lives of everyday people. Folks, it has never been easier to listen to this podcast. We are on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Twitter, and Facebook. Simply search Today with Tally. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe to get every episode and stay up to date with the latest and greatest our guests in the show has to offer. Folks, are you a business owner? Folks, I am looking for people to sponsor this podcast, sponsor the show. Let's get your word out there. Let's get your company out there to the general public, whether you got gear, you got merchandise, events, business services, products. Heck, even if you own a barbecue restaurant in Texas, you're trying to get the word out about what you've got going on, let me know. I'd love to sit down with you. We can advertise your business again right here on this podcast. Let me help you reach your goals. Let's put a marketing plan together, develop a strategy to take your business to the next level. We have got some very serious engagement going on all of our social media platforms, and we are ready to sit down with you, create a team, and go in together on accomplishing your goals. And let me help you do that, folks. We have some very great pricing. We've got a lot of different options for you, and anything to suit and satisfy your budget. And trust me, I'm more about helping people than bringing a couple dollars into the program. Folks, be like Chase's Choice, our great friends in Canyon City, Colorado, and really a platinum sponsor of this program since day one. Check them out online today at chaseschoice.org. That's chaseschoice.org, or call Ken directly, 719-371-0768. Chase's Choice is an industry leader in the cannabis and hemp industry, and they do continue to heal those in need. Whether you're struggling from physical pain, anxiety, depression, or having trouble sleeping, there is a product that is specifically made for you that will improve the quality of your life. Now, Ken, the founder of Chase's Choice, continues to engage in open conversation on the benefits of cannabis and hemp, CBD, CBG, CBN, THC, and all of the other cannabinoids found in the plant through his own extensive research and development. Once again, visit Chase's Choice online, chaseschoice.org. Folks, remember to always consult with your doctor before starting any alternative medicine products, and always check with your state and local municipalities on the laws regarding the use of CBD and hemp products. Folks, today's special guest is a great friend of mine, Troy Mulligan. Now, Troy is the Pitmaster at Third Coast BBQ. He's also a great friend of mine. He's also the first guy I met when I moved to Texas in August of 2020. I was looking for some Texas barbecue on pretty much day one, and I put something out there on Facebook, and people told me go visit Third Coast BBQ. And of course, I established that asset here when I moved. We've become great friends, and I'm a huge supporter of what Troy and his wife Dee Dee and his family have built. And he's got some great employees. He's got some great barbecue, and he has literally become a staple in this community in a very new adventure that he just started again in the middle of the pandemic in 2020. And here he is today, surviving that pandemic. And Third Coast Barbecue is thriving as a big time barbecue restaurant in the Houston metro area. And with that, we are honored to be joined by the Pitmaster himself and a great buddy of mine, Troy Mulligan. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, sir. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, man, the pleasure is all mine. Folks, I just want to show you my Third Coast Bar. Look at that. We got you and barbecue, Third Coast Barbecue. You can also check them out online, thirdcoastbarbecue.com. Now, Troy, you are a native Houstonian and a eighth generation Texas. Now, there's two things in Texas that really matter to people here: barbecue and what generation Texan you are. I mean, am I right or am I right?
Once you've been here for a while, you're a Texan, I guess. But those having a family that's got roots here that go back that far is pretty cool.
8 generations of barbecue, basically. I mean, that's pretty hardcore, man. I mean, look, anytime you meet a Texan, that's the first thing they're going to do is they're going to talk about their barbecue and they're going to talk about what generation they are, because being Texas, man, a Texan, that's a pride thing right there. And I've very quickly learned that here in the 3 years I've been here. But let's go back to 2020. Now, you opened your doors March 12th of 2020, literally days before everything was literally shut down and locked down. Describe what that was like when that all was going down and what was going through your mind saying, are you freaking kidding me? I've already taken a risk on opening a barbecue restaurant in Texas in the Houston metro area, and then we get shut down. Describe what happened.
Oh man, our first day in business, they came out. The kids had just got back from spring break with the wife. I had been here getting everything ready to open, and that first day, we kicked the doors open and started this thing off, and then they announced that they were shutting down the rodeo, and basically that was the beginning of the lockdown that we experienced. And my wife and I just kind of looked at each other and we're like, what in the world are we going to do? What's about to happen to us? So, yeah, I mean, we're got pretty much everything invested into getting this place open and wondering what's going to happen at this point.
How long did it take you to set up this vision? How long did it take you to set up this business, this corporation, if you would, to get started to have that opening day in March?
We leased this facility in October of 19, and I was just doing catering out of here, just kind of slowly getting things ready for the restaurant to open. And we'd begun filing for permits and getting building plans together because we had to enclose our giant smoker and build its own room and have a screen room for it. So that was a bit of a process. And, it took basically from October until March of 20 to get open by the time we got our permits and everything in place. And we're legally able to open.
Now, you had a lot of cash tied up in this place. I mean, in this new venture, you had to add on some stuff. You had to bring in your smoker. You had to set this thing up and have it ready to go for customers. And you have a very unique place. You got that beautiful patio. You've got an awesome, front ordering place there. And it's a neat place to go meet with people, friends, family, fellowship. I mean, really, you can't think of a better setting in Texas with the oak trees and the smell of the barbecue. I mean, you're outdoors. I mean, literally, folks, this is the best setting. It's the best barbecue. And really, until you experience it for yourself, you will never really understand what I'm trying to explain here. But I'm going to do my best at painting a great picture here, because what Troy's got going on is pretty incredible. And especially to survive after literally opening his doors and facing adversity pretty much on day one. Now, how would you guys make it through 2020 in a way that would probably not even breaking even at that point, but how did you survive? Did you have to develop a strategy to kind of, we've got to start doing to-go orders or deliveries or catering or whatever it may be? How did you guys survive these trying months?
Well, we were kind of blessed, the way it worked out with the kids being called out of school, everything being shut down. Basically, my kids were in the office doing their schoolwork while the wife and I were running the restaurant, and it was just us. So we had no additional labor. and I'm fairly cheap to begin with, so I've done everything as cost efficient as possible. That's why it's not a whole lot of fancy stuff around here, but it's just like, being in somebody's backyard. It's just a comfortable, cool place to hang out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really at the end of the day, too, most restaurants in the United States of America, finally, after a couple of months of this stuff was going on, they were like, okay, you can go to the restaurant, but you have to eat outside. So you were already kind of set up for that. You already had that perfect model established there, and really getting out of the house and going back into this Texas setting again with, the post oak and the smell of the smoker and this beautifully great food. I mean, the barbecue that you put out is second to none, and getting people out of the house was really a godsend to so many local people there, especially to sit down and enjoy a meal with some of their friends, because again, you had already had the perfect setup in place. What did the rest of 2020 look like after your doors opened and you started to gradually have those customers come in and start to build rapport with the community?
Well, we were originally set up, basically as a to-go restaurant where you could bring your food to the patio to eat if you wanted to. The way you order it, our windows still, and then we'll bring the food to you, whether you're on the patio or at our indoor dining area up front. So that, we were set up pretty well to deal with that to begin with. And then we quickly added the online ordering system so that people could place their order online. And, we received that, they pay for it online, and we could basically do a transaction where you could just pull up and we would bring the food out to your car. You didn't have to get out and be around anybody, which made people a little bit more comfortable, I guess, at the time. But Montgomery County, as great as it is, we were still shut down. The patio was still shut down for several months. Where we couldn't have people dining in even on the patio, even though it was outdoors. But that went away after a few months, and they opened up the outdoor dining again. And then we saw a lot of people coming in because people were ready to get out and be out and about again.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've been in the barbecue business for just over 6 years, but you are no stranger to the barbecue industry. I mean, obviously being an 8th generation Texan, you're going to have a little bit of barbecue in your blood, literally, some juicy brisket. You cut me, you got blood. You cut you've got literally juicy brisket pouring out of your veins. I mean, that's how you roll. That and boudin. But now you've been cooking your entire life. What inspired you? And, most people will say, don't ever buy a boat because, buying a boat could be the best day and the worst day of your life because of the amount of maintenance, storing it, and all that other stuff with the boat. And people say, don't ever open a restaurant. You did. Tell me, would you do it again?
Oh, man. I don't know. That's a tough one. Honestly, my biological mom, she had a restaurant up in Dallas for a few years. I've had lots of friends with restaurants, and I knew enough to know that I didn't really want to open a restaurant, but I enjoyed doing the catering part of it. But then it was kind of COVID that shut down all the catering, so we adapted. Do what you got to do. We had rent to cover, bills to pay, mouths to feed, all that stuff.
Well, I mean, you're very good at what you do, but folks don't understand the sacrifice of owning a small business, especially a restaurant. You can have one person come in there 20 times and have 20 beautiful experiences. And on the 21st time, absolutely screw up, and they are not satisfied. Unfortunately, when it comes to small business, you are treated differently. Not all businesses are treated the same.
No,
the big businesses, you could screw up every time, and you're going to keep going back. But for some reason, people hold small businesses, these mom and pop shops, to a different standard. 20 times perfect. One time, not so perfect. They don't come back. right? I mean, that's kind of like what you're up against here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's just the way the restaurant business is. I mean, these big guys that got basically unlimited funding for advertising to keep bringing in new customers, and as long as they keep bringing in new customers, it doesn't really matter how many they piss off and run away. They got People are going to keep coming. It's a nationally known brand, and for some reason people are just kind of brainwashed to go to these places when you've got tons of local options out there. I mean, this area is full of local independent operated restaurants that are great. But everybody was struggling at the time. Everybody that I knew.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's so much competition out there with all the, I mean, look, we're in the Houston metro area. You are actually located, folks, if you want to go check out Third Coast Barbecue, I highly recommend it. Folks, I just can't describe it. I mean, you can go see the videos I do. I mean, everyone always knows I'm either hanging out at Third Coast Barbecue or Honor Cafe or, Omega or the Olive Oil Restaurant or Wenchie's. Those are like my places, like where I go to. Like, that's my comfort zone, and I love food. I love to eat, as you all well know. But go visit Third Coast Barbecue. They are located at 25219 Oakhurst Drive in Spring, Texas, 77386. And again, you will not be disappointed. What will you find there? Well, let me tell you what you're going to find. You're going to find an outdoor setting that is good for anything. The ambiance, the family games, the fun. Again, grab a beer on the patio. And once you are doing that, you're going to find ribs. You're going to find boudin, pulled pork, brisket, turkey, chicken, sausage, and the famous twisted tray pretzel. Not to mention all the homemade fixings that you prepare daily. What's the workload like on running a barbecue restaurant like this, family owned, to where you're doing the majority of the work? And I know you guys aren't open every day. I think you're closed Monday, Tuesdays, and you guys are open the rest of the week. But what's the workload like when you're trying to prepare all this food in a fresh way to have it all ready to go once you open those doors for midweek and then through the weekend?
Yeah, well, now it's now I'm just working 7 days a week, so it's not too bad. When we first started out, I was here basically all day, every day, sleep for a few hours on a blow-up mattress in the office, and keep on about it. Nowadays, today is my day off, so I'm up here. I'll probably only work 5 or 6 hours cleaning up from the weekend and getting ready for next week. And then it's 5 o'clock in the morning until 6, 7 o'clock at night. Most nights, I've got a really good guy on my staff, Drew, that he's come in since I guess he started in May of 20. Started learning the business, and he's done really well. And now he pretty much he takes care of the basic stuff and getting the service and getting your food to you when you come in. I just kind of stay in the back in the kitchen and cook all the stuff, get everything prepared, get everything ready, make all the supply runs, make sure everything's here for kind of the operation that we've set up to keep going. So it's still 7 days a week, but yeah, I also get to pick up my kids in the afternoon. When they get out of school, and take them to school in most mornings, except for 1 day a week I open. So the wife takes them to school. But, that's a big part of it, being able to spend time with the kids. And, we've got baseball, we've got volleyball, we're, tons of activity with them. And, we found a way to make it work, and we're still here.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're thriving. I mean, it's, you go on to any of the local foodie pages and type in Texas barbecue, and you guys are pretty much leading those ranks, and there's some pretty stiff competition around here. And again, you have, and you've quickly climbed that ladder of success, if you will. Especially, I mean, Texas barbecue, guys. I mean, people fight over this stuff. I mean, you don't want to go to a Texas family reunion and talk about barbecue, and everyone's got their best barbecue. Everybody's got their guy. Texas barbecue, very loyal. When you find your Texas barbecue place, you're going to be very loyal to that. Folks, people drive 8-9 hours on the weekends to go have Texas barbecue. I mean, Texas barbecue restaurants are a destination for a lot of people. And it's the same for Joy.
We've had people drive in from Dallas. We've had people drive in from all over just to come try it. You know, I've had guys drive in from South Texas because they saw a post about the boudin. They wanted to come try it, you know.
That boudin.
People are crazy about barbecue.
That boudin is the best boudin. Look, guys, I grew up in Southern California and Colorado. When I moved here, I was like, what's this boudin? Boudin. And he goes, boy, scoot over and let me take you to school here. Pretty much. He brought this stuff up. Now I know what's up. I talk about it like I'm a sixth generation Texan. I'm like, give me that boudin. You know what I mean? I mean, that is some beautiful stuff. And another thing that you do very well is crawfish. And right now, it's crawfish season. And that the smell of the crawfish is something that I've never really experienced until I moved here to East Texas 3 years ago. And now it's like anytime I'm on a walk or I'm near a restaurant, and I always know, someone's having a boil. There's not a better scent. There's not a better smell out there than crawfish boils. How did you get so involved in, how did you become so good at preparing crawfish to where people are lining up and buying 5, 10, 15 pounds at a time?
Well, I mean, crawfish was just one of the things that we did on the weekends. It used to be crawfish you get for 99 cents a pound, and you get 3 or 4 or 5 people together and decide you're going to go get a sack of crawfish and boil some crawfish and drink some beer and hang out. It's just the way you spend time with your friends down here. Same thing with barbecue. I mean, they kind of go hand in hand. As a matter of fact, this building that we're in, it was built as a crawfish hut. It was the Blake's boiling hut. So when I bought it, I bought all the crawfish cooking gear from him, and so it's been a part of the plan. We love doing crawfish during the season, and love it when the season's over because it's a hot mess.
Yeah, but it's so good. Oh God, it's so good. You said that was a crawfish hut, and again, you couldn't have walked into a better lease, if you will. And I think you own the building now. You've invested further into your business and in the surrounding areas, and of course, the location that you're at. But folks, this is like the perfect setting. Setting. When I say the ambiance, is the true epitome of experiencing Texas barbecue in an outdoor setting. Again, you've got the smoker right there. So the smoke's kind of blowing in a little bit, not too much, but you could smell it kind of background. Again, I explain it like you are at a big family event. When everybody's out there, they've got their families, they're all sitting at the picnic benches. People start to conversate. You start talking to other tables. People will start playing cornhole together. You got the little game where you've got that little, circle, steel circle ring.
Oh, yeah, the ring toss game.
Yeah, I mean, you are this place. It's a feel good setting with great food, and not to mention the desserts. I mean, you guys put out some insane cobbler, bluebell ice cream. I mean, hey, the way Mama used to make it, right?
Well, everything that we do is just good homemade food. It's just home cooking. My mom was a really good cook, and look at me. I enjoy eating, so I like to eat good food. If you're gonna eat, you might as well eat some good food.
And your collards, again, that's something I never experienced either. Now I'm like, man, I should have been in the South this whole time, man. I was like, man, them collard greens and pintos and, and everything, a potato salad. Lord have mercy. And I remember you used to make that elote. Oh, man, dude, I'm getting hungry right now. I'm starting to drool a little bit just thinking about that brisket and the sausage and the jalapeno sausage, the cheese sausage. And again, that brisket is so moist. Man, you got any tricks to the trade on, how to really get down and be a smoker?
Well, there's really no tricks to it. We buy the best meat that we can buy, and we trim it and season it up with our house-made seasonings, and then try not to screw it up. Cook it till it's done, and that's kind of the way everything is. We use an all-natural. It's a Good Stock by Nolan Ryan. It's a prime grade brisket that we use. I mean, that's the part of the reason that they're so good. It's all prime grade meat, like you'd get in your finest steakhouses. Mm-hmm. So, we buy the best meat we can get, and that's we think that it puts out a good product. It's a good, consistent product.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very consistent. Your ribs, literally fall off the bone. Your pulled pork melts in your mouth. The brisket melts in your mouth. Everything has tremendous flavor. The way you do it, obviously, you got a lot of tricks to the trade. And I don't expect you to share those tricks, because that's what keeps your doors open, because you have this unique flavor and taste. And tell me about your smoker. How big is your smoker? And describe how it works for people that may not know anything about smoking meat, if you will, that may live in different states that are going to listen to this.
Sure. Yeah, it's we cook on a big. It's made by David Close here in Houston. So it's Close Manufacturing. It's a big offset smoker, so it's got a firebox that's 3 foot wide and 3 foot deep. It's got 10 foot of main pit with 3 doors and 3 racks in each door. And then I've got a 4 foot vertical upright that's got 4 racks in it as well. It's a giant smoker that runs off of just straight, wood fire. Mm-hmm. And the idea behind an offset smoker is we've got the fire at one end, and then the smoke comes out, dissipates the heat throughout the cooker, and it provides an even heat from one side to the other, and gives you that great smoke flavor from that you get from the natural burning wood.
What are your biggest months, Troy, in your business serving Texas barbecue?
Our biggest months are probably November for Thanksgiving. We do tons of Thanksgiving catering. I think last year we cooked 60 some odd turkeys for people around here. We also do deep fried turkeys as well as smoked. And then behind that, probably May, going into graduation season, June, and then going into the 4th of July. And then the heat down here gets pretty ridiculous. So, then things tend to trail off a little bit. That's why the family and I usually close down the week after the 4th. And we do a little family vacation together and spend some time and recharge the batteries from this place.
Hey, man, I've been there, and I've sweating to the brisket in August. That's fine. It ain't no big deal.
No, it's not me. I can deal with the heat. I've been doing it this whole time. It's the customers, and we put fans on the patio and everything, but it's still bloody hot out here, mm-hmm. And that's why part of the reason we got that.
I can't hear you. All of a sudden, I can't hear you, buddy. I can't hear you. You disappeared on me. So, folks, we're being joined by the Pitmaster and the owner of Third Coast BBQ in Spring, Texas. Now, they can be found at 25219 Oakhurst Drive in Spring, Texas. Troy, the Pitmaster, he is extremely good at his job, and he is always looking for new customers to come through the door. Folks, consider this a community spotlight, if you will. If you live in the Houston metro area or even surrounding areas in Texas, feel free to drop in, check out their website online today. Their website is thirdcoastbarbecue.com. That's thirdcoastbarbecue.com. And Troy welcomes everybody to come on in and enjoy some of the best Texas barbecue you've probably ever had. And again, folks, I can't explain the ambiance and what you're going to get and the level of service and the satisfaction that you will receive once you are sitting down and eating this Texas BBQ. And like he had said, Drew, one of his employees, is a tremendous asset to Third Coast BBQ. And he's become, part of the name and the face of this next to Troy, the Pitmaster, because, it takes some really dedicated guys that know the trade, because again, barbecue here in Texas has got to be done a certain way. It's got to be done right, or else your doors aren't going to be open for very long. And to have the the level of experience that these men have, as well as Dee Dee, is something, again, that is a true asset to the food and the barbecue that he is putting in. Joined by Troy Mulligan, the Pitmaster over at Third Coast BBQ. They can be found over at 25219 Oakhurst Drive in Spring. I highly recommend you go in and visit Troy. Tell him that Brian Talley sent you, or the Today with Talley podcast. What if he'll probably give you some peach cobbler, or perhaps some Bluebell ice cream on the house? I don't know, maybe. But hey, it's worth the shot, right? But hey, explain, what is a day in the life of a Texas barbecue pitmaster?
Well, get up early in the morning and come in and get the fires lit. We put on our ribs and our briskets and a turkey and chicken and stuff for the day. And the ribs and the turkey and chicken will be cooking for service that day to be ready at 11 when we open. The briskets will cook all day until 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, whenever they finish up, and then we put them in the warmer overnight to hold for service the next day, and then do it all over again.
Incredible. Yeah, that's the term. That's a fire. Now that's a fire. Again, guys, he gets up early in the morning, 2, 3 in the morning, you go over there and light fires.
These days we've kind of streamlined the process a little bit, where I'll get up usually 4:30 so I can be here at 5 and get everything going.
Yeah, folks don't understand, having a barbecue joint, it's like a 24/7 operation.
It is. Yeah. Any small business is a 24/7 operation.
Oh yeah, owning a business. Yeah, you're right. But really, a barbecue restaurant in Texas is a 24/7 operation, because you're buying prime. I mean, folks, there's prime, right? And then there's really nothing above it. I mean, he's buying the best. So the last thing you want to do is throw all this money in a smoker and destroy it, So you got to be on it. You got to have your temperature gauges. But guys like Troy, they just know how long it goes. I mean, it's like riding a bike. This guy, can pedal all day long and know exactly what's going on in that smoker, when to add wood, when to turn it up, when to tone it down. Again, guys, this isn't no pellet. I mean, this is an offset 3x3. I mean, putting in that post oak, wood, and again, doing it all the right way, and putting a product out there that the people of this local community keep coming back to, because that flavor is something that you really can't get anywhere else besides Third Coast BBQ. Now, what's your biggest seller, Troy?
Definitely the brisket. Yeah, we sell 3 or 4 times at least as much brisket as we do of anything else. Nice shirt.
We got you and barbecue. Third Coast BBQ. ThirdCoastBBQ.com. I love Third Coast BBQ. And this is so easy to do, because I'm a big supporter of of your restaurant, your business, your family, and everything you do. So it's really easy for me to really talk great things about your business, because I sincerely believe it. And I believe in it. I believe in your your vision and, your, and everything you do. But what's it like serving the community of Spring? Have you gotten involved in any local community events?
We've done lots of stuff with our schools here. When we first got started in 2016, it wasn't long after that we had the Hurricane Harvey come through here, and just really devastated the community. A lot of flooding all over Houston area, even here in Spring. A lot of people affected. Even in the part of our neighborhood was flooded. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that happened. So, I was sitting back during the floods, waiting for the floodwaters to reside. Sitting back and say, we really ought to try and do something. I got this big old smoker outside. Let's figure out something that we can do for the community. So, I got the wife in touch with a few of her friends from the PTA, and we put together an event for the community down at Woodlands First Baptist Church, and went in, and I intended to just pay for all the meat and stuff myself, to buy as much as I could to feed the people, and to go in, and HEB is such a great place. They the manager there, he asked what I was doing, and I told him, and he comped all the meat and everything that we were doing, so allowed us to feed 550 people that day. After Harvey, 550 of our neighbors right here in the community, and that was a lot of fun. I mean, we've always enjoyed doing as much as we can for the community and for the people. I mean, even with the T-shirt, that was the reason for the saying on the T-shirt that you wear. We're here for the community. It's been our friends that have supported us and got us through the opening in the beginning.
Yeah, we got you and barbecue, so it's the community first. Community first, and really, what you did, is a detriment to your character. I have personally been in your presence and shared an outdoor table, probably the one you're sitting in right now, having lunch with you, while a homeless man walked in, and he didn't seem quite right, and you asked him if he was hungry, and he said yes, and you fed him. You made him a burger. You said, hold on, let me get this guy. And again, most business owners would have been like, hey, man, you're trespassing, no loitering. There's the door. But Troy did something that you very rarely see a business owner do. And he invited this patron into his restaurant, made him a burger. And that guy was, very thankful for what Troy does. So he does a lot of humanitarian work. And folks, when Houston has these devastating hurricanes and these floods, the city of Houston comes together unlike any other city out there really in America. I mean, it's a very tight-knit community, and people come together in these times of need and during these crisis moments. Now, that's why you make it so easy to support you in your mission. Now, how can we help? How can our listeners help Troy Mulligan and Third Coast Barbecue?
Well, come see us. Come try it for yourself. We still give $1 for every one of the twisted trays sold to a local charity. If we don't have anybody that we're specifically working with, we just we send it to Camp Hope. It's a great organization that we've always supported. Go out there and do something good for your neighbor. Go help them out. See if you've got a neighbor that that's struggling, see if you can go help them. Do something good for your community. It'll make you feel better than it makes them.
Yeah, absolutely. What type of relationships have you forged with a lot of your customers, a lot of your regulars?
Oh, shoot, man. It's every day. Every day is filled with our regular customers, and it's what keeps us going. Really enjoy getting to see all the people every day that come in. I've got some people that come 3-4 times a week. Some people I just see once a week, but they've all become great friends and just good people.
Mm-hmm. Do you have one of your best moments or a really great memory that you could share with us about Third Coast Barbecue since you opened your doors in March of 2020? Do you have anything that really stands out as, wow, that was a really special and unique moment?
Just getting the place open with the family, and just me and my wife and my kids. That was part of the reason I started this place, was to have an option for my kids, if they wanted to choose to carry it on later on down the road, to build some sort of legacy, maybe. It's always been about family.
Mm.
It's
That's probably why we get along so great. That's probably why we get along so great. I said that's probably why we get along so great. We got a lot in common. Got family guys, always family first, and working hard, entrepreneurship, staying fully engaged in the community, and really delivering a product, a value, that people can. Again, folks, food brings people together. And that's the great thing about eating, right? You could sit down with, 5 people that all hate each other, but you could sit down and share that same table and have some brisket, have a lot in common, and all agree to say, wow, this is really good food, and start talking about other things and start to realize that, what? In this crazy world that we're living in right now, we got a hell of a lot more in common than we'd like to think, with all the animosity getting thrown everywhere. So, folks, all it takes is sometimes just sitting down and breaking bread. And again, I can't think of a better place to break some bread than Third Coast Barbecue.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's cool because you can come down here and sit on the patio. You never know who might be sitting next to you. We've got people from all walks of life, or from our local representatives to just your next door neighbor. You may run into somebody down here that get to talking to them and find out that your neighbor. You've never met them before.
Absolutely, man. Share with me some of the fixins that you guys have for order.
Well, we make our own pickles and pickled red onions here in house. We make our own barbecue sauce from scratch. We make all of our seasonings from scratch. Just for the twisted pretzel that we do, we make it's a house-made honey mustard dressing. We do a house-made beer cheese that's got Shiner Bock and then the jalapeno in there. It's a little bit spicy, really, really good. We also do a chipotle ranch dressing that we make here in house to go with that, as well as the barbecue sauce. But the pickles and the pickled red onions is kind of a staple that I like to have with barbecue. You get a little bit of that acidity to cut through some of the fat from the meat, everything. They just go really well together. And when originally putting the menu together, that's kind of how I designed it, is to for everything kind of complements each other. The flavors that you get a little bit from the pickles will kind of match a little bit what's in the sauce. It'll match a little bit what's in the rub. So it's just kind of an experience that I try and create as a cook.
One thing that I had to learn when I moved here to Texas is back where I come from, Southern California, Colorado, you go to a restaurant and if they say that they open at, 8 in the morning and they close at 9 p.m., that's the operating hours, right?
Yeah.
But Texas barbecue is different. Hey, we open at 11 until we sell out. That's how it goes down in Texas. Explain why that is to folks who why, if they say they're open until 6 and they're closed at 3, what's going on? Why can't I get my barbecue at 4:30?
Well, we try, I really try. It's the reason for it though is the way we cook everything fresh every day. And then it's cut to order. Nothing's done ahead of time. Once we make briskets for tomorrow, and then that's what we use for tomorrow. And I'm usually pretty good about making enough to last until 6 o'clock. But we may run short on some days if we get way busier on an unexpected day. But usually we're pretty good about having close to we'll have something for you at least until 6 o'clock usually.
And folks, I love getting those social media posts at 3 o'clock saying we are sold out, because that's a great day in the Texas barbecue world, especially if you're a business owner. That means that you sold all of your food, and now you can start to prepare for the next day and know, okay, great, we had a good day. That's a good day. You don't ever want to have anything left over, because then it's like, man, we're sitting on this cash, we're sitting on this money. How do you order it? Is it really hard? I mean, because really at the end of the day, you have to predict And that's another hard thing about owning a restaurant, especially a barbecue restaurant. You have to know your customers so well that you have to predict how much to order. How do you do that? What sort of formula goes into place here on predicting how much you buy so you're not sitting on food or you're not wasting food? And again, we all know the profit margins in food are low. So again, sitting on food and throwing food away or having food go bad, that's not a business plan that's going to keep you your doors open for very long.
You're not going to stay open for very long, no. We do have stuff left over, and that's part of the reason that the boudin came about, and the collards, and some of the staples to our menu. We developed to use up some of the leftover meat. In the boudin we use any brisket that's left over or pulled pork, which is why sometimes we may not have the boudin because if we've been selling out of brisket and pulled pork, we may not have enough it may take a little while to have enough to make a batch. Saying we use the brisket and the beans, we use the ribs and pulled pork and the collard greens to make the broth for that. But yeah, it's just a guess based on experience. Look at the weather. What's the weather going to do tomorrow? If it's going to be clear, we're going to be a little bit busier. If it's going to be rainy, it's going to be slower. Not going to cook as much. It's just experience, I guess, is the only way to say it. If I was better at it, I might have actually made some money in this business.
And there's another unique thing about you is that you are a magician when it comes to preparing gumbo. Your shrimp gumbo and your sausage and gumbo. I mean, guys, talk about a gumbo. He doesn't have it available all the time, but when he does, Lord have mercy, this will definitely, probably be some of the best gumbo that you've ever had. And it's served over a bed of rice and everything is just flawless, not only in presentation, but the way it tastes. Tell us a little bit about your gumbo and when you may have it available.
Yeah, it's one of those things you probably won't find on the menu if it's hot outside. It takes a while. Make the roux from scratch. You've got to have a dark chocolate roux to make a proper gumbo, and that takes usually about 30 to 45 minutes of standing over a pot of boiling oil and flour to get that roux dark enough, and stand there stirring it constantly. And then after that, it's fresh vegetables and chicken stock and then the meat. It's not a really difficult process. It's just one of those things where you've got to know the right way to do it and be willing to spend the time to do it the right way.
He makes it sound really easy, but folks, it's not. I've seen the work that's done in that massive commercial kitchen of his, and he's got everything going. I mean, from big pots to the ovens to, literally this guy's literally got everything going at one time. And he's, it's kind of like controlled chaos, back there. A very clean kitchen, very well ordered, very, well put together, and very, very well managed. As again, you're the owner, you're the pitmaster, you're the founder. You are the owner and you are there. You have a daily presence. And really your job is to go and speak to the customers and build those relationships and see how their food is and see if there's anything that you can do for them. And again, talk about a staple in the community after surviving through COVID and all of that adversity and really building up Third Coast to what it is today. And it's become that premier destination for Texas barbecue in Spring, Texas. Folks, I urge you to go online and visit them today at thirdcoastbarbecue.com. That's thirdcoastbarbecue.com. And if you want to go support this business, feel free to do so. Third Coast Barbecue is located at 25219 Oakhurst Drive in Spring, Texas. That's 25219 Oakhurst Drive in Spring, conveniently located directly off 45 and Rayford Road. And guys, you will not be disappointed. Troy, do you have any final remarks or any final words for our listeners out there today?
No, man, I appreciate you having me on today. If anybody sees this, wants to come in and say hi, my wife Dee Dee is usually at the front counter. I'm usually here in the back kicking around or running around picking up kids. But ask for us, and we'd love to meet you, and take care of you like family.
And that's exactly what you're going to get there. You're going to get that home style, down home, family cooking. And I love it. Kind of like that one commercial I did for you back in the day. Just like Mama used to make with my accent. Folks, go down and get you some ribs, some boudin, some pulled pork, some brisket, some turkey, some chicken, some sausage, and that famous twisted tray pretzel. Folks, there is not a better barbecue. I sincerely believe in this place, and you should too. And once you cross that line and you experience a little bit of different barbecue, you're going to see, man, that guy was not joking about that Texas barbecue. He wasn't joking about Third Coast and that beautiful, I mean, look at this guy's face, man. Got a big old beard, got little puffy cheeks. This guy knows how to put down some barbecue, folks. Now, let me tell you, go on the weekends and get you some crawfish for the next couple of weeks or month or whatever it may be until fish
We
season.
got crawfish till the end of May.
There you go. Until the end of May, go get you some crawfish, some barbecue, and some beers, and you will not be disappointed in what you see. Troy, man, this has been a fun one.
Chat with you, my man.
Thank you so much for joining us today, man. I sincerely appreciate everything you're doing in the community, and really the work that you're doing has certainly not gone unnoticed.
Well, we appreciate it, man. It's good talking to you.
Yes, sir. Folks, remember to stay inspired, stay encouraged, stay motivated, and always stay in the fight. Until next time, for Today with Tally, this is Brian Tally. Good night, Semper Fi, and God bless.